How to Improve Absolutely Anything by Katie Labedz. Chapter 19. But did you ask? Communication problems. I remember working with a group of people who were very upset when they came to me. They wanted and needed a Kaizen right away. You could almost see the red emergency beacon lighting up in their heads. Keep in mind, especially in emotionally charged situations like this, 80% of what's coming out of their mouth are emotions, and only 20% is the real problem they're trying to solve. But they may not know it yet. I said, tell me what's the problem? We need a Kaizen on this before the end of the month. We have a report we need to automate ASAP. Okay, why does it need to be automated? They said, because it's currently a manual process and it takes Wanda all month to complete. Okay, well, manual's not good, but tell me more. We have no idea how she does this report. No standard work or documentation. I guess Wanda never went on vacation. Fantastic. Where does the report go? I asked. Who receives the report? They responded, it gets emailed to an email box. A personal email box? I asked. No, it's a group email box, they responded. Great. Okay, who has access to that email box? They looked at one another. No one had a clue who had access to that email box. No clue. So I asked, what do you do with the data? They collectively agreed, we have no idea. I said, okay, wow. How long has this process been happening? They said, for over 5 years. Wow. I asked, is there anything else I need to know? They looked at me sheepishly, and I knew I found the source of emotion. Wanda's going to retire at the end of the month. And it's currently the 15th of the month, I said. Alrighty then, let's just keeps getting better and better. We talked for a little while longer, starting to create the structure of a problem statement with the information we had. I suggested scheduling a meeting with people that we think might be impacted by this process first before we move into a full out Kaizen event. They agreed, and we scheduled a meeting for the end of the last week. In my head, I sounded like a Las Vegas preacher as I kicked off the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today because Wanda is retiring and there appears to be some possible opportunities for the report she manually completes each month. It currently takes her 40 hours to complete the report, then it's emailed to the ABC email group. Does anyone here have access to the email box and know what happens with the data? Before I could proceed any further, a gentleman waved his hand and stopped me. Excuse me, is this about Wanda's report? We automated that report 2 years ago, but we couldn't find anybody to own that process. Mic drop. What? Yes, that team had completed an event to automate the manual reports they were receiving. And they fully automated Wanda's report because that team didn't involve Wanda or her boss in the event. And because they didn't create any standard work, they had no idea had it even happened. All they had to do was ask. So, do you have a problem to solve, perhaps with a full-blown Kaizen event? Or do you have a simple lack of communication? Communication can be our greatest savior or our worst enemy, both at work and at home. Regardless of the environment, ensure that you are communicating process change, especially if you are a direct or indirect customer of that process. Before a Kaizen event takes place, bring all of the invitees together for a quick meeting to review the situation and directly ask if we forgot to invite someone else. Refer back to your SIPOC to see who is impacted or who impacts you. For example, tell your partner you're now storing the cat food in the freezer instead of the pantry to eliminate morning feeding chaos. A great way to keep your communication channels organized is by creating a communication plan for your activity. List out who needs to receive communications, what type of communication they need to receive, and most importantly, how they would like to receive that communication. Some people dislike meetings that only provide an update on the status of a project, especially if everything is green, meaning there's no issues. Other people want that meeting along with a presentation and an updated internal document system. Know your audience, understand what they want or need, and act accordingly. Don't assume because you might just be the one walking around with the red emergency beacon on your head.